Hey y'all, happy Friday. Thank you for coming to tune into another We Go, aka What Else Is Going On podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. Just a couple of quick Bravo things I wanted to come and talk to y'all about. Then I want to come back later and talk to y'all about some more things that I've been wanting to talk to y'all about for the last couple of days. But for right now, this is going to be a real short, quick one. Just came home to take a quick lunch break before I go back in them streets to make the money. Did Diamond tell her cousin or somebody told Diamond from the Players Club, don't wait. You make the money, don't let the money make you. So I'm about to go make the money and not let the money make me. But thank y'all so much. I hope your Friday is going well. I will also be doing my Roni reunion recap. I watched it the day after, took all my notes, but I haven't been able to record it, but I am going to record it. I want to record that tonight as well, and it'll just be a bonus podcast episode, but it'll definitely be done this weekend. So let's get into the couple of things I wanted to talk to y'all about. First up, all this stuff you may have already seen, but I wanted to talk about it with y'all. Ashley Darby. So we know that the Potomac reunion is coming up. We won't see it Sunday because of the Super Bowl. Fly, Eagles, fly. The last time it was the Eagles in Kansas City, me and Corey were actually in California visiting little Corey at college, and we went and watched it at Dave and Buster. So we hope the Eagles will pull out a win again. But anyway, so we won't see the Potomac reunion this week. It'll be next week. But it seems to be a little dissension within the cast, at least with Ashley and with Wendy. So we know that Wendy has joked ever since she saw Josh, Ashley's paramour. I'm calling him Jack Harlow, then basically saying it's a lateral move, she should move up. And Wendy, so when Ashley was on Watch What Happens Live, she told Wendy that she could suck it because a guest asked, a guest, in quotes, asked what she thought about Wendy's comments about the whole Jack Harlow of it all. And Ashley said, Wendy can suck it. Wendy then responded and said, I can suck it with my husband, not my rented man. So Ashley has some things to say. Let's check out something that she's talked about on Gabbing with Gibbs. Shout out to Gibson. He was on this podcast. I was on his. Love Gibson. Let's see what Miss Ashley thinks about Miss Wendy. Hold on. And what she had to say. I said, is this just trying to gear up for a beef in season 10, child? Is that what this is? Is that what they're doing? Let's see here. Let's blow it up so y'all can see it real big.
What's your
Yeah.
response to how Wendy spoke about that on Watch What Happens Live last week?
It was
Talking
a
about
little
Josh.
surprising to me that Wendy said those comments in the first place that she said in her confessional because that's not the energy that Wendy was saying to me to my face. For someone who I consider to be my friend, I would
Yeah.
really think if you really thought like, oh, this guy really isn't of the caliber or whatever, then maybe you'd say that. But to save that for the confessional chair, it really showed me that Wendy is two-faced. And so I didn't appreciate that at all. Like if you really felt that, you'd stand 10 toes on that and be like, girl, you if you want to say this is a lateral move or whatever she said, then just be a woman and say it to me. So I was just really it pissed me off. I actually didn't even watch her Watch What Happens Live episode. I didn't really care to see it. Of course I heard that she talked about me, called Josh a rented boyfriend. There are some other conversations that Wendy and I have had where she brings up things that her husband has been involved in to try to like justify her talking about Josh. They're apples and oranges, things that she really has no justification to say. And also the fact that she doesn't even know Josh, she doesn't know his story, who he is, what he represents, and he's new to this platform. He doesn't know any of
Right.
this, and you just go in on him like that's low hanging fruit, and that's really stupid of you.
Child, now look, first of all, what does Wendy talking um to her about some things that Eddie was involved in? I said, what as a justification, what does that mean? I want to know, like, what are you trying to say? And in the confessionals, I know sometimes they ask them questions. Sometimes we hear the producers ask. Sometimes we don't hear the question, but we hear their response. So who knows if the producers asked Wendy what she thought? I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, okay, I thought they was good. Is this gearing up to be a beef for season 10. It's a shame because sometimes, we know that these are real people, right, with real thoughts and emotions, and they live through the show. Then they have to watch the show back. Then they have to talk about it at the reunion, all these things, right? They have these emotions. So I know that they're real people with real emotions, but sometimes I'm also like, is this all a setup? Is this energy all even real, or is it just a setup to go into season 10? It's like jaded, but not jaded, but jaded, but not jaded. You know what I mean? So who knows if Dr. Wendy will respond? Probably not, but maybe she will respond in season 10. We shall see. Moving on, let's talk about Lisa Vanderpump. Now, I'm going to get into this, and just a trigger warning. It's her response to what happened with James Kennedy and Allie and the DV of it all. I personally, I'm just going to be honest, my stomach twisted at her response. Like, I'm not surprised because it seems like Lisa is always pro man, no matter what. One of the boys, she just doesn't get women, she's one of the boys. And she's always pro man for me, even when they're wrong. And I didn't like her response to this, but we'll also get into the rumors about her returning to Beverly Hills. We know Lisa Rinna. We talked about that, I think, either earlier this week or last week. Lisa Rinna was on a podcast talking about, it was the Gay Ass podcast, talking about how she heard they were in talks to bring Lisa Vanderpump back because the show is the Titanic and they know she's not coming back. Where do you hear all these things? Now, Andy debunked it, but Lisa Vanderpump answers also. So let's get into it. While also addressing her potential return to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and teasing the upcoming 12th season of Vanderpump Rules, Lisa defended James against reports of violence against Allie, expressed concern about James' sobriety, and offered an update on where the ex-couple stands with one another today. I have spoken to James and to Allie at great length. I'd never drop the ball on somebody that I've supported and has had a troubled time just because Pump Rules was recast. A lot of people say it's none of your business anymore. They're not on Vanderpump Rules, but it is my business because I brought him to the forefront. I've always cared very much. Describing herself as a matriarch figure, that was in quotes, to James, Lisa said the most important thing for her was to know what happened between James and Allie before he was taken into custody. I didn't need to just hear from James. I needed to hear from Allie too, from her mouth what happened. She told me categorically he didn't hurt her. He never hurts her. They were both drinking, both being ridiculous and arguing. She basically said, "Oh yes, take him away. I'll teach him a lesson." But now this is what Lisa's saying, not that Allie told her. Lisa's saying, Allie basically said, "Oh yes, take him away. I'll teach him a lesson." But no, he didn't hurt her categorically. She regrets what happened with how this blew up. According to Lisa, she told James, "You should never have another drop in your life," after she learned that alcohol was involved. How many times have you told him this? Was I concerned? Yes. As for James and Allie's status, Lisa revealed they are still in contact after their split. Look, didn't the police report say someone was slammed to the ground? Whether she was physically hurt or not doesn't matter. He should not be putting his hands on her, period. If a man pushed me and I fell and I didn't get hurt from it, that doesn't mean he should have put his hands on me to push me. So for her to try to say he didn't hurt her, no, tell us that the police report was wrong and that he didn't put his hands on her. That's what I want to hear, not that she wasn't hurt. Anyway, she talks about in a separate interview her possible return to Beverly Hills. I have always said never say never, and that show was very good to me on so many levels, Lisa admitted to People. But no, I am so busy in my life. I've got some new restaurants and I've got another big project coming up. And Vanderpump Villa has taken up a lot of my time and Vanderpump Rules, so I wouldn't. Lisa is only close to Garcelle on the cast, so it really wouldn't make sense, she went on. I know there's been a lot of gossip about it, and then normally I wouldn't comment on it, but no, it's not happening. And there's a couple of them I don't like, so I'm being honest. They asked her if she's spoken to PK since he split. She said PK was she said no, but PK was always a great friend before, and I'm sorry for any marriage that has its downfall. I'm sorry about that, especially when there are children. Always sorry to see that, but I have a great affection for PK. But when he was married to ... Yeah, okay, moving on. So I guess she's saying she had a great affection for him when he was married to the ex. As for Pump Rules season 12, Lisa promised a great season. We're just about to start, but it's incredible, really, because just when you think, oh, I'm never going to see anybody that's crazier than that or more beautiful than that, and suddenly they appear. It is like that in Hollywood. It's incredible the amount of people that are just so much fun, and it's such a vital kind of city. So she's saying Pump Rules season 12 is going to be a great season. I guess maybe even wilder than the first cast. Who knows? Like I said, I'm still disgusted by her response with the whole James thing, but she did clear up. Right now, she's too busy. She ain't thinking about coming back to seeing it for Beverly Hills. And the only person that she's close to is Garcelle, and she don't like some of them. All right, moving on. Now, this was interesting. The Real Housewives of Dubai. I did watch. How many seasons was it? Two, right? 2 seasons of Dubai. And then we learned that The Real Housewives of Dubai was on pause. I wonder if some of the cast is trying to, or rather hoping for a pause like Miami, meaning come back. Maybe not as long, but meaning coming back. Because Talene, do we care? I'm going to talk about it anyway. Talene was recently on a podcast, and she had some things to say about the pause. And then, of course, here comes Brooks, not too far behind, all in the comments. Let's get into what Talene shared, shall we? Ooh. Oh, let's get into what Talene shared. This was the Vault pod.
Came out with Carolyn when the show was put on pause. And I loved your tweet. It kind of cut through all the noise. It was like, the show wasn't canceled, you were. Iconic. So talk to us about what made you say that and what you thought about those tweets that Carolyn said about the show, and she was answering people.
Yeah. First of all, she brought up the whole conversation that we had with the producers, which we did. But the producers never told us your show is canceled. Those words never came out of their mouths. Yes, we're on pause, but we've never been officially canceled. And a lot of the reason why we're on pause is, it's expensive filming in Dubai. And I think they're trying to sort out, production, and it's going to take a little bit of time. I do think it's going to come back. I think some of the cast might be a little different. But, for her to say that we're canceled, that's a lie. We are not canceled. And it's not me reaching or wanting it or anything like that. If the production had said that, I would have no problem saying to the public that we're canceled, but we're not. So, Miami, Real Housewives of Miami took an 8-year hiatus.
And I didn't even watch this.
There was a pause there. I don't think it's going to be that long, but I think they're just, trying to make it work. There's still a lot of red tape in Dubai, and they want it to be great. And I do think season 2 was great. We got a great response from the fans. The fans loved it. People said it reminded them of like old school Real Housewives, So I just think in terms of financially with the network and stuff, it's got to make sense. So that's where I'm sick of Brooks just getting on Twitter, keyboard warrior, writing whatever the hell she wants. And no, there's no repercussions for that behavior, and I'm sick of it.
Now, I had not watched this fully. I did not even, I promise y'all, so I didn't even know she mentioned Miami, but I figured that's probably what, when they hear the word pause, that's what they were thinking. And maybe even Jersey, So Talene clearly wants to be a housewife, which there is nothing wrong with that. But Brooks was not too far behind. I swear she has a Google alert on her name being mentioned, not just on the internet, just in the atmosphere. So let's get into what she said. So again, this is the Vault podcast. Their heading, hold on, let me get into it. Let's read. Not their heading, I sound like I'm 100. Their caption said, drama stays, rumors don't. Hashtag RHODubai star Talene Marie shuts down cancellation buzz. Who's ready for more luxury and shade? Here comes. So then somebody added her at Caroline. Don't ever change. I love that you're here in the comments being messy. I hope I see more of you and Talene on my TV. Okay, that was recently. Caroline was in these comments after that and said, so that comment came after. But Caroline was in these comments and she said, I said what I said. Then she said, Talene is so desperate to be on this show that she would do and say anything. The delusion. Canceled in caps. Bye. So then somebody said, was waiting for you to join the party. She says, imagine in 2025, they still aren't giving this a rest. Let it go. The cast was fired. The end. Should I say more in the cancellation topic and all that occurred behind the scenes so the public knows exactly why the show is over? Let me just leave it at what I said already and keep it cute. But don't push me because I love giving context and details. Nothing about Talene's tweet was iconic. This is why she deleted it, because the fans dragged her. I have all of the screenshots in caps. Wrap it up. Let's focus on RHOSLC. OMG, they are iconic, especially Bronwyn. Ciao. So they're going back and forth about them not being canceled / being canceled. Caroline, Brooks, what happened behind the scenes? But then again, I'm going to be honest. Would we even know if it was true? Or would Brooks be lying? Would we even be able to trust if she came on a podcast or came out and said this is what was going on behind the scenes? Would we even trust that that's true? Now, I understand Talene saying, hey, we weren't canceled, sort of like, hey, Dorinda wasn't technically fired. She was put on pause, but we also know what put on pause could mean, right? So I guess we shall see. Andy, come out and clarify. Are they on pause? And I thought it was indefinitely. That's what I thought. Would y'all like to see another season of The Real Housewives of Dubai come back? I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I do think a little cast switcheroo would be needed. I'm going to be honest, I didn't hate this last season. Again, after coming out of some dark seasons of Housewives, like the last couple of years of Potomac and all that, Dubai was just kind of like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best, but it was just kind of like fluff a little, like background noise, to be honest. It was a phone show, I'm not gonna lie. You know, you have the shows where you can listen in one ear and be on your phone. So I don't know, would y'all want to see it come back? And if so, would y'all want some cash changes made? But Talene is out here doing interviews, giving press to Dubai. She said, honey, you're not canceling us. Like Miami came back after 8 years. It's not gonna be that long for us, but you know, we coming back. That's what Talene said. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I love y'all so much. Be safe out in these streets. And I'm almost over this cold that tried to get a hold of me and had me in a headlock. I love y'all so much, and I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.